Alright, so we're going to combine some like terms here. The first thing that I want to do is write a couple of variable expressions and show you what I'm talking about when I mention the word terms or constants or coefficients, that sort of thing. So the first variable expression that I want to look at is y cubed plus 8x squared minus x plus 12. So this is a variable expression. The first thing that I notice is that it has four terms, and I tell the terms apart by going from left to right, and I see my first term is y cubed. As soon as I see a plus or a minus sign, right here I see a plus sign, that tells me that the next term's coming up, and so my next term is 8x squared. There I see a minus sign, so my next term is negative 1x. There's a 1 right there. I could fill that in if I wanted to. We'll make it red so that you can see that I just filled that in. And my next term is 12, so I have four terms. So right here we can say that we have four terms. And if I wanted to list them, y cubed would be a term, put a comma. 8x squared is a term. Negative 1x is a term. You can put the 1 or not. You do have to have the negative sign. And 12 is a term. Alright, now the word constant. You'll come across that word every once in a while. A constant is a number that is all by itself. It doesn't have any variable with it. So we have one constant here. The number 12 in this expression is a constant. So if I said write out the constants, the constant would be 12. Okay. The last thing we want to do here is look for coefficients, and we'll do this in red. Why not? The coefficients are the numbers that are in front of the variables that are being multiplied by the variables in each term. So this term right here has a variable. In front of it there's a 1. So if I wanted to write my coefficients out, make sure I spell this right. There we go. I would have a 1, because there's a 1 in front of that y cubed. I would have an 8, so that's in front of the x squared. And I would have a negative 1, because that's in front of the x. So those are terms, constants, and coefficients. Let's go ahead here and try another one. Let's see if I can clear this. This might be the easiest way to do it. Doink. Alright, good, that worked. Alright, so let's go back here and look at another expression. Let's say that we have 5y minus 10x plus 3z. Alright, so in this case I have three terms. My terms would be 5y, negative 10x, and positive 3z. Okay. As far as my constants are concerned, there are no constants. All the numbers have variables right behind them, so no constants. And my coefficients, in front of the y I have a 5, in front of the x I have a negative 10, and in front of the z I have a 3. Okay, so that breaks down that entire variable expression that we have right there. Alright, the next thing I wanted to take a look at was combining like terms. So we're going to start out, we're going to say that we have this expression, 2a plus 3a. Alright, now what this actually means is that we have 2a's plus we have 3 more a's, and so we want to know how many a's we have all together in this mix right here, and what we have are 5 a's. Okay, these two terms I could add them together because they're called like terms. They both have exactly the same variable. They have a's. Alright, and then what I do is I add my coefficients 2 and 3 to get my answer of 5a. Alright, let's look at another expression, see if we can simplify it. So we have 6x to the second plus x squared minus 9x squared. This time we have three terms. All of the terms are like terms because they all contain x squareds. So all we have to do is go from left to right and simplify this expression here. So we have, remember that's a 1, so we have 6 and 1x squared gives us 7x squared minus 9x squared. And now when we combine these two terms, they both have x squared, so they're like terms. I can do this. We have a 7 and we have a negative 9. We're going to subtract to get negative 2x squared. And that'll be our final answer. That's our expression simplified. We've combined like terms, in other words. Okay, let's look at one more here. Let's say we have 3x minus 6x minus 2y plus 8y. Alright, in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to underline like terms. So I see that this term and this term, those are like terms, and this term and this term right there, those are like terms because they both have y's. Notice I use one underline for the x's, two for the y's. That's just to differentiate between the terms that I have here. So now I want to go ahead and combine my like terms. So I have 3x minus 6x. 3 take away 6 is negative 3. So I have negative 3x. And then I also want to combine my y's. I have negative 2 and a positive 8, which I subtract and get a positive 6y. And that's going to be my answer right there. It's going to be an expression with two terms. I cannot combine these two terms because one has an x, one has a y. They're not like terms. So that's my final answer. I'm going to put my answer in alphabetical order, x and then y. Alright, one last variable expression here. Let's say we have negative 10 x to the third plus 16x to the third minus, I don't know, we'll say 20x to the third and plus 2x to the second minus 5. Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do here is underline the like terms again. X cubes, these are all like terms. They all have x to the third power. The exponent is important as well. We have an x squared. We only have one of them, so we're just going to underline that twice. And we'll underline the constant 3 times. Okay, so we have actually 3 different groups of terms here. So let's deal with the x cubed first. And the reason I want to do that is because it has the biggest exponent. We're going to go in what's called descending order here. So I have negative 10 and positive 6, or positive 16. That's going to give me positive 6x cubed. Then I have minus 20x cubed plus 2x squared minus 5. Now, remember those two are like terms still, so we can combine those. It's going to give us negative 14x cubed plus 2x squared minus 5. Now I look at my 3 remaining terms, and I have an x cubed, I have an x squared, and then I have a constant. None of those are like terms, so I'm finished. Also notice that my answer is in what's called descending order. Biggest exponent first, followed by the next biggest exponent, followed by a constant that doesn't have any variable at all. Okay, so my final answer, like I said, we'll clean it up here a little bit, is negative 14x cubed plus 2x minus 5.